Military news. Pentagon shocked. Russia developing planes faster than anticipated. Russia's efforts aimed at upgrading its air force have largely come as a surprise to many in the U.S. Department of Defense. So much so that the Pentagon is looking at ways to reboot its terminated Advanced Tactical Fighter (ATF) program that produced the much-vaunted Lockheed Martin F-22 Raptor. The DoD and the Congress made a decision that we would not see a near-peer threat within a number of years, and a decision that judgment also proved to be optimistic. Lt. Gen. James Holmes, Air Force Deputy Chief of Staff for Strategic Plans and Requirements, told the U.S. Senate Armed Services Committee, "We've seen both Russia and China develop airplanes much faster than was anticipated." He added at a hearing held on March 8. A total of 187 Raptors were produced between 1996 and 2011. The Pentagon is unlikely to order more F-22s, but the agency could well consider upgrading existing fifth-generation stealth tactical fighters. Since the end of the Cold War, Russia has introduced the Yakovlev Yak-130 advanced jet trainer and light attack aircraft into service, as well as the Sukhoi Su-34 strike fighters and the Sukhoi Su-35S super-maneuverable multi-role fighters. A perfect example is Russia's upgraded Su-35S super flankers, which took advantage of all I have mentioned above. These newer versions can be brought online faster, which our planning impaired. Pentagon says it was caught off guard by underestimating. That is a lie, of course, as they have known about Russia's major focus on modular design, with electronics and weapons upgrades as the best use of the money. It's not just with the planes but with all their armor now. The Pentagon will spin this as evidence of Russia's aggressive intent to milk the US public with even more wasteful spending, but it is not needed by simply cutting back on our own aggression. Russia can actually afford its own weapons systems, because it does not need the huge numbers that we do, because we have bases everywhere that require constant threat hyping to keep the public shelling out for the organized defense graft. Moscow just ordered 50 more super flankers, and due to its affordability, it is a strong export seller, with China spending $2 billion for 24 and Indonesia wanting a dozen. This keeps Russia's manufacturing lines running strong, and maintains the cash flow needed to fund continuing next-generation upgrades. What our own thieves spin as aggressive intent is a 10 times more effective way for Russia to maintain its defense without choking off domestic infrastructure development, which is what had been done in the old Soviet era. The current leadership of Russia is not about to get sucked into that old game, when they have the US and the West caught in the trap now. Look at stupid Britain. Its military is a bubblegum and baling wire held together thing. Yet they want to spend an ungodly fortune on new Trident nuke submarines to enrich a particularly constituency, as Gordon Duff has laid down, which no one else in the world before him did. He called this what it is: organized crime. Very big time organized crime. And the she people on this side of the pond have not figured it out yet, said Jim W. Dean, managing editor, Military Order of World Wars. Russia's efforts aimed at upgrading its air force have largely come as a surprise to many in the U.S. Department of Defense, so much so that the Pentagon is looking at ways to reboot its terminated Advanced Tactical Fighter (ATF) program that produced the much-vaunted Lockheed Martin F-22 Raptor. The DoD and the Congress made a decision that we would not see a near-peer threat within a number of years, and a decision that judgment also proved to be optimistic. Lt. Gen. James Holmes, Air Force Deputy Chief of Staff for Strategic Plans and Requirements, told the U.S. Senate Armed Services Committee, "We've seen both Russia and China develop airplanes much faster than was anticipated." He added at a hearing held on March 8. A total of 187 Raptors were produced between 1996 and 2011. The Pentagon is unlikely to order more F-22s, but the agency could well consider upgrading existing fifth-generation stealth tactical fighters. In addition, Russia is working on a fifth-generation fighter under the PAK-FA program. The Russian Air Force is expected to receive the first batch of the stealth multi-role in air superiority fighters, currently known as T-50, in late 2016 or early 2017. The PAK-FA is meant to replace the Mikoyan MiG-29 and the Sukhoi Su-27 fighter jets. Russian aircraft corporation MiG has also been reported as developing a fifth-generation lightweight fighter jet, PAK-FA, Russian stealth fighter of the future. The PAK-FA is a single-seat twin-engine jet fighter designed by the Sukhoi Design Bureau. Its unique features make it the best in its class among other similar aircraft in the world, and it is the first operational aircraft in Russian service to use stealth technology.